We can supply 3 different approved packages, but what I'm going to show you now is the whole system. There's also 2 further digital probes here. One is for working length and overall length measurement, and this one here is for using measuring of round die bores. So this is just made up of a digital probe, and then we have a split bore probe with a needle point, and as this enters the centre of the die bore, this split bore probe pushes together and this needle point pushes up against the probe to take the reading. As part of die bore measurement, we supply a set of calibrated ring gauges to suit most round dies. So the system is also supplied with a dongle, which is the key that enables the software operation. The system is also supplied with a foot switch, which enables hands-free operation. So as part of Approve, we supply a set of handheld instruments. I have 2 micrometers and a vernier caliper. The smaller micrometer can be used for taking tip diameter or barrel diameter of a B-type punch, and the larger micrometer can be used to take head diameter and barrel diameter of a D-type punch. The vernier caliper can be used for taking the major and minor dimensions of a shaped die. The readings on these instruments are fed back to the software through the interface box. These 2 digital probes here take the tip diameter, and this one here takes the barrel diameter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this punch in the fixture and seat that in correctly. Once the punch is in the fixture, the readings are automatically taken for the tip diameter and the barrel diameter. We can then rotate the punch and it will take a concentricity reading. We use the foot switch to accept the reading, and then we move on to take the working length and the overall length. So in order to take the overall length measurement, for the first time we use this probe, we need to use a calibrated length gauge. So you can see here this has been calibrated to 133.6, which is the Euro norm standard. We then put that under the probe, and then by pressing F3 on the keyboard, we can tell the system that that distance is 133.6. So now when we take this away, the probe knows what it's measuring against. So when we go to measure our punch, we put the punch in the punch holding pot and looking for the deepest measurable point, we measure the critical working length of the punch. When we're satisfied that we've got the correct reading, we press the foot switch to accept the reading, and then we move on to the overall length. So we invert the punch, carefully place the punch on the stand, and put the probe on the head of the punch, and that will take the overall length measurement. Once we're happy with that, we press the foot switch, and then we can move on to the next punch. So to measure round die bores, Approve is supplied with a full set of calibrated ring gauges. And once again, just like when we measured the working and overall length, the die bore probe has no idea what that measurement is there, so what it's measuring. So we use one of the calibrated ring gauges to set the distance, the known distance for the probe between those edges. And we tell the software that that's the size that we're looking for. And then when we're ready to measure, we can put our die under there and we can take the reading. So on the screen there, you should be able to see that as I move the probe through the die bore, you can see they're moving ever so slightly. When I'm happy with the reading, I accept using the foot switch, and then I move on to the next die. So we have this laser here, you can see the laser. What we need to do is we need to tell the laser what that distance is. So we put this length gauge, calibrated length gauge, which is measured at 133.6 millimetres, underneath the laser. When we're happy with it's in the correct position, we preset it, and you can see there on the display it says 133.6. So now when we go to measure our tool, finding the deepest measurable point, you can see there that we have a non-contact way of measuring tablet tooling. So this minimalises any risk of damage to the tip face during the measurement stage. The iHolland non-contact laser can also be integrated into the iHolland tool management system. As part of the measurement equipment that iHolland offers, we offer a more conventional way of measuring working lengths and overall lengths. So this is a relatively simple and easy to use piece of equipment. It can be used to take actual readings, but it can also be used as a comparator. So that means it can be used to compare one punch length against another. We use this in exactly the same way as the other pieces of equipment that we demonstrate. We use a length standard, which is 133.6 millimetres. We put this under the digital indicator. Press preset on there, and that's now preset to 133.6. So now if we put the punch under here, what we're looking for again is the deepest measurable point in that punch cup. And when we're happy that we've got that, that's the reading which we need to take. Once you're happy with the measurement, you can press the data button on the mini printer, and this will actually print a readout of the measurement that you've just taken. So just to explain a little bit about the software and the screen we have showing here, this is actually for measuring a round punch. So we have a tip reading, a barrel reading, a concentricity reading, and here we have working and overall length readings. You can see here this is a visual bar indicator of whether this tooling is within tolerance or out of tolerance. If it's out of tolerance, the bars on this graph will turn red. Down the right hand side here of the software, we have some editable text, which means that we can create a master template for every set of tooling we measure. This can also be translated into your own language. So here for the top we have the punch manufacturer and punch style, the material, whether it's got a coating on it or not, and other details such as the press manufacturer, tool drawing and tablet drawing numbers. We also have a description box here where the text is pretty much unlimited, where you can put any information you like regarding that particular tool. The important part is down here at the bottom, so the parameters. So we have to put in the nominal, the upper tolerance, the lower tolerance of the punch that we're measuring. And don't forget that the tolerances of new tooling will be completely different to that of in-process tooling. Down here we also have a logged in user and a date and time. There is security on this software, which means it is password protected, and you can also create administrator and user rights. The person logged in, and hopefully the person taking the reading, will have their name and the date and the time that they took the reading down the bottom. You can also print a report off of the results, and also on the bottom of that report there is room on there for a signature strip, which means that somebody can actually sign to say that those readings were taken by them. Once you have all this text in there, you can actually save this so you don't have to put that text in time and time again. So the next time you measure this set of tooling, you can just go straight into measurement. So I'll just show you here the kind of print that you can get out from this data. So this is the kind of report that will be produced. So you can see here you have all those editable fields which you populated here, and further down here we have the readings that we've taken. So we've taken 6 readings there. We have what the readings were, and also the logged in user and the date and the time. Down the bottom here we have a histogram, which is perhaps the most important part of the report. So what you're looking for here, specifically that bottom line, is consistency across that set of tooling, so the range. If you do have any tooling that is out of tolerance, it will actually show up with a red, so you've got a visual indicator once again of any tooling that's out of specification. You can also produce scatter charts. So this, for instance, is the scatter chart for the tip readings. So we have the upper tolerance limit and the lower tolerance limit there, and the nominal across the centre. We also offer online support for the approved system. So once it's installed and configured within your factory, then we can actually access the system online, so we can help with any problems you have with the software.